If you were worried that it might be difficult to keep the ball rolling on the awesomeness that keeps cropping up here on GC Unboxing, then have no fear, because this week the good people from Envy have stepped up to the mark, and you know that they're not going to disappoint. Oh no. In here are the brand new SES 3.4 wheels, which then, yes, will be, at the end of this video, up for grabs. Now, before we actually unbox, you will notice that actually the box itself isn't perhaps as pristine as it might once have been. And rather than apologise on its behalf, I will just point out that this has actually been sent all the way from Envy's HQ in Ogden, Utah, where the wheels themselves are built. And I don't just mean laced up, I mean literally all the carbon on those wheels is laid up and manufactured in-house. Right then, enough apologies for the box, let's open it. More from that later. Oh, look at that. That is a very, very special wheel. So what have we got here then? Well, the 3.4 has actually been Envy's top-selling wheel set. And it's not really a surprise. They are a lightweight set of climbing wheels, but they've been optimized to have some serious aerodynamic performance as well. But as I mentioned, these are brand new. So what Envy have done is taken the best of the 3.4 and then updated it. So these are now optimized for wider tires, up from 23s to 25s. They're also now tubeless compatible. And then these ones, which are the rim brake version, also have the new molded in brake track. Okay, let's go back a step then, shall we? How do you optimize a wheel for wider tires? Well, in this case, the rim profiles have been changed. And yes, I mean profiles. Envy, you'll be familiar with, I'm sure, have different front and rear rims. And that's because their chief aerodynamics guru, Simon Smart, has created wheels to deal with the specific characteristics of front and rear wheels. So for example, the front wheel is going to be more susceptible to side forces. So stability is key here, whereas the rear wheel can be tailored much more for pure aerodynamic performance. And the most obvious difference is in the depth. So the front wheel is actually 38mm deep, whereas the rear is deeper. That's 42mm. However, that doesn't specifically deal with helping for wider tires. So what Envy have chiefly done there is to beef up the width. So they're now 21mm wide internally and 27.5mm wide externally. And what that does is it helps smooth the transition from tire to rim. So there's less bulge, so that helps keep the airflow attached, and therefore reducing drag. Now, of course, a wider tyre in of itself does actually create fractionally more drag than a thinner tyre. So a 1 watt difference apparently for that 2mm extra. But according to research, wider tyres roll more efficiently. So they more than offset that 1 watt drag penalty. Now, while we're talking wider tyres, let's also talk tubeless. If you've not got on that particular bandwagon yet, then running tubeless basically eliminates the risk of pinch flats, so you can run much lower pressures. And then it also should mean that you get fewer punctures from sharp objects, because you pop a little bit of liquid latex inside the tyre, and that actually seals any holes as you go. But you do need tubeless-specific wheels and also tyres. So in this case, you would have a very high performance set of the former. To make them tubeless though, we need to delve inside this little bag, which is not actually a high performance pencil case as I first thought. It's a bag full of goodies. So in here, we've got some titanium skewers, valve extenders, standard rim tape, the tubeless kit. So in here you've got tubeless specific rim tape and tubeless valves. And so what they do is effectively make the rim itself completely airtight. Then all you got to do is add a tubeless specific tyre and a little bit of sealant, and away you go. That's not all in our cheeky little Envy bag here. We also have brake pads. Now, it's always really important with carbon wheels to use the correct brake pads for your specific rim. And in this case, these Envy pads are actually different to the ones that have come before, and that's because of this, the textured molded in brake track. Envy say that actually means that you can exert 30% less force at your brake lever to get the same braking performance as before. And the performance is pretty much the same in dry conditions as it is in the wet, which is pretty nuts. And that's not all. They've also changed the resin that glues it all together. So that's now even more heat resistant apparently. And then to help with that aspect further, they've also added in a different laminate. So basically, the test protocols that ENVE have had to dream up in order to put these wheels through their paces now sound frankly bonkers. Now that is quite a lot of chat about rims, although with good reason. I do like rims a lot. But the eagle-eyed amongst you will have noticed that this isn't just a rim, it's actually a complete wheel. 20 spokes here lacing up the front wheel, and then the rear wheel has 24. That's the sound of DT Swiss internals. Beautiful, like a watchmaker. How much time can we devote to it? Any longer? No? Okay, all right. Now, as well as DT Swiss internals and ceramic speed bearings actually, which if you didn't know you had them in there, you would when you open your ENVE case and you see that they've given you some specific ceramic speed grease there. But both of those things are actually housed in ENVE's own carbon hubs. So they say that the carbon shell gives them pretty bonkers stiffness to weight ratio. And then actually the spoke holes aren't drilled out, they're actually molded in. So that keeps the integrity of the carbon fibers intact in what must be a frankly laborious process. These hubs also make these particular wheels the lightest options that you can buy on the ENVE website. So the hub itself apparently weighs 158 grams for the rear and just 74 grams for the front hub. So all in, that then means that they weigh 740 grams for the rear wheel and 630 grams for the front. All in then, that means that they weigh, so that's 1,368. Can we get a check on that 1,368 grams? Is that right? Now, admittedly, that weight is without rim strips, but nevertheless, it's pretty clear that ENVE have hit their target of creating a lightweight set of climbing wheels. Then we add in all the other extras like the aerodynamics, the tubeless compatibility, and that molded in brake track. Frankly, they look like they're going to be really good. Yeah. Right, do make sure you subscribe to GCN. What do you mean I've forgotten the competition bit? Give them away. Okay, give them away. Right, well, as usual for GC Unboxing, we will be giving these wheels away to one lucky winner. And if you want to enter that competition to be in with a chance, then you need to click on the link in the description beneath this video. And then keep your fingers crossed. We'll be announcing the winner in a forthcoming GCN show. Now, do make sure you subscribe to GCN, seriously, before you go there. It's very simple, just click on the globe. And then if you want some more content, well, why not click just up there for a very interesting feature about wider tyres. I mentioned it earlier in this video. There's a more in-depth look just up there. Or for a cheeky shortcut to get to that competition, that's just up there.